So there's plenty of opportunities to make money in the new economy. Use the internet as a resource to learn about it. But, you know, that's probably the biggest, you know, thing that I see people making money at is scrap gold. I mean, buying scrap gold, there's still a lot of money to be made there. And a lot of people are getting into stock promotion as well. There seems to be a lot of money with that, though that may be questionable activity, but there is a lot of money being made in stock promotion.
Well, actually, Bob Chapman, when he said he wants to come back, he agreed to come back on the show next Tuesday, and that's what he said. He wanted to talk stocks, and I found that kind of interesting that he was very specific. Usually he doesn't. He's pretty, open to subject matter. And also, I was talking to another buddy who's been on the internet for a long time. He was saying that, hey, a lot of these junior miners or penny stock miners and stuff like that, gold and silver miners, they're likely to, if you have a good platform or you get out to certain genre of people like you have, that they're willing to sponsor you. So you can get sponsors in that field.
And that's the thing that, I talked with Bob Chapman, and we were talking about possibly doing a documentary, multi-documentary deal, because I told him my experience. Yeah.
Well,
and
I told him that.
We were talking, and I told him that what we did with Gerald Celente really benefited him because we put him in the melt up and dollar bubble, and right away Gerald got a lot more subscribers from that. And I told Bob that his name has really good value Google Analytics, and I said we should consider doing a documentary series. But I don't know if it's going to go because I think he did some research on NIA, and he came out with a talk show where he kind of really blasted NIA, which I can understand. The concept of NIA isn't bad. It's just, John Lebed has a lot of baggage to his name. When he was 15, he was the premier stock pump and dumper. And, Gerald Adams, who's his childhood friend, is kind of the puppet head of NIA. And if you read the articles, you can really see that they're written by someone who doesn't have a college education, who's in a, if you just read the articles, you can tell they're written by someone very, very young. They're all the content and material is written by John Lebed. I don't know why he feels he needs to disassociate himself from NIA. There aren't, he's not, he just needs to be real with what's happening, and Gerald Adams is just a puppet or figurehead for NIA. And I think that's why they're getting, lambasted by guys like Bob Chapman, because, instead of coming out, and saying, hey, this is a for-profit organization, we promote stocks, and, we charge $1,000 for premier stock picks. Instead of just coming out there and being honest about it, they're doing it in a little bit of, a lot, doing it in a way that is maybe not as truthful as they probably should be. When you've got a guy like John Lebed writing all the articles and creating most of the scripts for the video documentaries, you need to come out there and say that, because, I've been with the guys, and, Gerald Adams is too busy promoting stocks. So John's gotten away from really pumping and dumping, and he takes more time in researching the stocks that he promotes. But from what I can tell, Gerald Adams is a worse offender in the pump and dump scheme than it is John Lebed at this point. And he is the figurehead. You should look at his website, Wall Street Grand. You can see many of the stocks he's promoting, and he's not shy about it.
Is that which guy is the black guy?
That's Gerald Adams, the president.
Okay, but actually he's a front man for the other guy who has kind of a bad rep.
Exactly. You know, I don't know if it looks like they're a group of high school friends that they all get in and they get positions in stocks and they figured out how to make a boatload of money. But yeah, they're just kids, you know. Well, not anymore. They're men, but they were. John Levin was making. He'd make $50,000-$60,000 in one day before he could even drive. You know, he would pump and dump a stock and then sell his positions from the school library computer. I mean, this is, you know, these guys are the future. Whether you like it or not, the concept of stock promoting is here to stay. They're one of, you know, thousands of guys that do this type of stuff. You know, to single them out is kind of ridiculous. You know, you should you should just go to Stock Promoters Association. There's a couple associations, and you should be calling out all those guys. Obviously, it's illegal. It's just maybe there's a lot of things that ride the border of unethical. But I don't know. It's just, for those guys, they're just young guys, and I think the way they kicked Vision Victory to the curb, and then they kicked me to the curb, I just shows that they're not sophisticated in running a business. And I think, wow, they could have got another five years out of NIA. The way they're going, it just doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, I just ran across that Vision Victory, who took over for you, narrating their vids and stuff. I saw like 5-6 days ago. He said he was taking a leave of absence or something from NIA. What happened there?
Oh yeah, it was terrible what they did to him. You know, I wasn't privy to all the information, but you know, I don't know. I mean, John Ledbetter just doesn't know how to run a business well. And, you know, he kicked me to the curb, then he kicked Vision Victory to the curb. Apparently there were some differences in opinion on how to run NIA, and, you know, they want to do it their way. So they're going to kick people to the curb. And now, I don't know, I mean, maybe they'll still be able to do documentaries, but I have a feeling a lot of people can see Gerald Adams for who he is. You know, he's the owner of Wall Street Grand stock promotion company. I mean, that's pretty much what they're about.
People listen to them, huh? Evidently, so they have made a few good picks or something.
Well, they're smart guys, and I think if they just apply themselves, you know, and they do try to keep NIA pretty clean, but you got to remember these guys have a lot of expenses. You know, John doesn't drive. He has a driver that costs $500 and something a day. They go to every major sporting event with VIP tickets. You know, they got, I don't know, $1,000 a night hookers that they get. I mean, who knows? They have a lot of money that they spend, so they have to continually bring in more subscribers so that they can pay for their huge, huge expenses.
Oh, they're living large, huh?
Yeah, you know, for 24-year-olds, I would say they're living larger than anybody I've ever experienced.
That's why they have a big attitude then. So they're like treating other people like Vision Victory yourself as kind of like peons or something like that. They're just using and abusing people. That runs with that kind of attitude right there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say John Lebanon is actually, I think he has some sort of syndrome. I think it's Asperger's. He's on multiple medications. So, you know, so I think that affects your judgment, your decisions. So I think when you, what can I say? I mean, they got really lucky, and they were able to put NIA out there. And I think if they would have listened to me and Vision Victory, I think they would probably be a household name. But the way they're going, they're going to run it into the ground, and I feel pretty bad about that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very interesting. But the good thing is that through your interactions early with them, you have learned a lot of good nuts and bolts stuff that really do play out in running a successful website, branding the whole thing on the internet.
I mean, yeah, the key to building a big YouTube channel is having a website to have as a counterpost to it, and then having an email database and to promote your videos that way, because Google ranks the video views from a website much higher than internal YouTube views. So you get an echo chamber effect where when you send, that's why they send out these NIA updates and say, Vision Victory, check out his latest update, and he would get 40, 50,000 views. But now if you look at his YouTube channel, you know, he, like me, I've had our views cut down because Google wants to cut the visibility of YouTube channels, and they want to promote independent websites because that's where they make much, much more money on their Google AdSense. So if you're able to run and maintain a decent website, you know, Google's going to promote that more than they will an internal YouTube channel or if you run a Facebook page or something like that. So the best way to promote a video or promote your content is to have an independent website and have other independent websites run your material, and that's what you and I are focused on with the whole Survive and Thrive TV, and you've got GeorgeHeminger.com. You know, we're going to bring this whole concept of everything we've learned from the guys at NIA and bring it to the masses so that way we can help people, not hurt people. And I think if these guys would have just been more straight up with people and treated, you know, the people that work for them better, I think they would have had a viable organization. But now what they're doing is, you know, I don't know if they're just going crazy, but, you know, literally they're just chopping off the hand that feeds them. You know, they're treating, you know, the people that formerly worked for them terribly, and it's just ridiculous. You know, I've been threatened with lawsuits by Gerald Adams. So, you know, I don't know what their motivation is, you know. I think their motivation is just to build their email database and so they can promote more stocks. You know, each email, they used to pay $5 to $10 per email. Now they have over a couple 100,000 email subscribers. So Vision Victory and George4title built millions of dollars worth of value for these guys. So, you know, for them to just throw it away like that is inopportune and I think very illogical.
All right. Please explain to me what you mean by email. Like, how do you get the emails to start with?
You have to build an opt-in email list. So on a website, if you look at NIA, they have a little section, hey, you want weekly updates, fill in your email list. If you look at Wall Street Journal, they not only have an email database, but the next thing on the horizon is texting. What you want is a very, very large, Dick Morris does it, they've rented his list before too. All these internet gurus, financial gurus, they build email lists, and now they're starting to build cell phone text lists. It's whatever can get your information in front of your potential customer very, very quickly. That is worth money. There's big business in this. I didn't realize this, but there's huge money in building email lists. So, you know, people are building email lists. They're building cell phone lists where they can text out news alerts and stock promotions. And I just think, you know, YouTube, the people on YouTube are highly undervalued. We can bring a lot of traffic to a lot of businesses. We're just a new technology. So the people that took advantage of our traffic first were people that, you know, were stock promoters, you know, pretty shady. But I think there's a lot of companies out there that are, once we get past this cultural transition where people feel comfortable with video, that's going to be the new wave, is companies, instead of paying, you know, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a 30-second commercial, they're going to spend a couple $1,000s and get way more bang for their buck putting video content on YouTube and the Internet.
Okay. So you have a good